Good afternoon, all, and welcome to today's class. This is a new lecture class you'll be listening that is on the muscle tissue. What do you mean by a muscle tissue? Muscle is a contractile tissue which brings movement. You see that any movement you do, like opening up the door or having a cup of tea. All this is done by the muscle which brings about the movement. So, muscle is a contractile tissue which brings a movement, any movement. You run. All this is done by the muscle. So, the muscle in our body, there are three types of muscles present in there. Okay, the classification of muscles are of three types. You can see in the figure here, the classification of the muscle are of three types. They are called as skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle, and the smooth muscle. You can look here, skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle, and smooth muscle. These are the three types of muscle. Okay, you can see here the muscle tissue are classified into, like if I tell you the type, one, the classification is done as voluntary muscle and one more is called involuntary. What do you mean by voluntary? Voluntary means at your will. You know the movement, the movement occurring, they are called as voluntary muscle. Like run. You when you run, you can know yes you are running. All this is by the voluntary muscle. The voluntary muscle, example for voluntary muscle is skeletal muscle. Involuntary muscle, like heart muscle, you don't know that the muscle is working up. Okay, they are involuntary. Like one is cardiac muscle and smooth muscle are involuntary. Smooth muscle are all like GIT, stomach, esophagus, they come under involuntary. Like urinary system, urinary bladder, and all. They are all example for involuntary muscle. There is one more classification of the muscle. They are called as striated muscle and non-striated. This is done based on the histological. When they you look into slide, if they you can see the striation. They are called as striated muscle and non-striated. Striated muscle are cardiac and skeletal, and non-striated muscle are smooth muscle. So you can make out here the muscle tissue are classified into two. One is called as voluntary classification and one more is called involuntary. Voluntary are skeletal muscle, involuntary muscle are cardiac and smooth muscle. There is one more classification you do on the basis of striation. They call as striated muscle. Example are cardiac and skeletal, and non-striated muscle are called as smooth muscle. Okay. Now we look into the first, that is what do you mean by skeletal muscle? Skeletal muscle are striated or voluntary muscle. We call it the skeletal muscle are striated muscle or voluntary muscle. Example, limb muscle. Any limb muscle. If I tell you one example of the upper limb, there is a muscle present in upper limb. They are called a deltoid muscle. Or in the leg, there is one muscle called gluteus maximus. Any limb muscle, you know the movement occurring. They're all example for skeletal muscle. So skeletal muscle, they're called as striated or voluntary muscle. Example is our limb muscle. Okay, what are the features you see in the skeletal muscle? We'll look into it. They are most abundant, found attached to skeletal muscle. They exhibit cross striation under microscope. I told you what do you mean. When you look into the microscope, they show cross striation. They are voluntary muscle. Each muscle fiber is multinucleated. You see this? What do you mean by this? Multinucleated cylindrical cell containing a group of muscle fibrils. Okay. Now next, if you look a skeletal muscle, if you look a skeletal muscle, you can see. Can you see the bone here? Okay, you can see one bone here and one bone here. Can you see the muscle attached here? The brown color, what you're seeing here, that is a muscle you're looking. Can you see the fleshy fiber and one more white part? Can you see that? That is called as a tendon. Okay. So no, what do you mean by tendon? I have already told you what do you mean by tendon. Muscle attached to bone is called as tendon. So you can see that muscle is attaching to the bone, that is called as a tendon. So if you look a muscle, it has got, whenever you describe or explain about any muscle, you have to know that it has got two ends. Okay, two end, one end we call it as origin, and one more we call it a insertion. See, you know, you have looked river, you tell no one, any river you take, it has got one origin, and last is the destination where it goes. So the same way, if you look a muscle, it has got a origin, and one more is insertion. So know the terms, okay, learn the terms here. What do you mean by origin and what do you mean by insertion? So see here, see the part, see the about skeletal muscle part. They are fleshy, contracted, and belly. Belly means see the shape. Fibrous and non-contracted. Tendon. You can see here the tendon. This is the tendon, cord-like, which is attached to the muscle, attached to bone. We call it as tendon. Origin. Relatively fixed during contraction. This is the fixed part, and insertion is a part which moves during contraction. So no, origin and insertion. You can see here origin and insertion, that is the attachment. If you take any muscle, it has got origin. If I tell you a simplified way, here you seeing one muscle, okay. I tell you, this is the muscle of the upper limb called a biceps. See the origin. If I tell you, the origin is from the bone here, that we call it as humerus. Insertion is to a bone here, that is called as a radius. So remember like that, okay, origin and insertion. So any muscle if you take, you have to know it has got one origin and one part is called as a insertion. Okay, now when you look the muscle fiber, how they're arranged, okay, that is called as the arrangement of muscle fiber. Like when you look into the muscle, there when you look into it, there are different shape. We call it as, see here, the first one, unipinnate, bipinnate, multipinnate, parallel, convergent, and sphincter. This is according to the shape. If you look, they are like all this classification: unipinnate, bipinnate, multipinnate, parallel, convergent, and sphincter. Okay, see here. This one muscle you are seeing here, you can see the strap muscle. Okay, the muscles are running in this way. So these are the strap muscle. You are looking into the strap muscle. Okay, they are example. One more is sartorius, and one more is in the abdomen. You are seeing that is called rectus abdominis. You have heard about six packs, right? So this muscle you are seeing, that is the rectus abdominis. Okay, quadrate. According to the shape, you can see the muscle here, the quadrate like, that is quadrate lumborum. Fusiform, you can see the two muscle belly joined here. They are like fusiform, like this, the shape is. That is called fusiform. The muscle is in the upper limb, biceps brachii. This is a biceps brachii. So learn quadrate muscle is quadratus lumborum, fusiform is biceps brachii. Okay, pinnate. Pinnate, there are different types like unipinnate, okay, bipinnate and multiple. Unipinnate, you can see that. See, this is one part. That is a part from there it takes its origin in this way. Okay, that is called uni. Bipinnate means on the both the side. If you see, they are called as a bipinnate. Okay, so in this figure you are looking, they are all unipinnate. You can see here, they are unipinnate. You can make out this is the unipinnate muscle. Okay, so this is a muscle you are looking, that is unipinnate. See here in the lower limb you can see one muscle which is unipinnate. Okay, bipinnate. I told you, see, this is a bone you're looking on the both the side, and the middle part you can see they are bipinnate like. Okay, like this, the is there, the fibers are coming, and this is a part. Bipinnate. This muscle you're seeing in your thumb, that is called dorsal interosseous of hand and foot, or rectus femoris is the muscle where you see uh, in the leg region. Okay, see in this figure what I have shown you, this is a region where you see that bipinnate muscle. You can see this is a muscle that is called an interosseous muscle. So it is an example for bipinnate muscle. Okay, multipinnate. Next is a multipinnate. A series of bipinnate muscle lie side by side in one plane. Acromial fiber. You can see that this is a muscle, deltoid muscle. It's in your arm, you see. See, that is for multipinnate muscle. Deltoid muscle is an example for multipinnate. Circumpinate, you can see the origin. The muscle is cylindrical. Oblique fiber converge into central tendon from all sides. Tibialis anterior. This is a muscle of the lower limb. You can see that is of circumpinate. The fibers are arranged in that way. Okay, this is the same what you're looking. Okay, spiral. Spiral is this muscle. You can see here. It is like twisting like in this way. Origin is coming in this way and insertion, if you look, they all spiral. The muscle is twisted in arrangement close to the insertion. Okay, you can see the fiber here. This is the origin. Where it get inserted, they go a spiral like course. So that is the muscle you are looking. This muscle is called as pectoralis major. The pectoralis major is a muscle which is spiral. In example for spiral muscle. Cruciate. Cruciate means X like this. You can see here this muscle. It is like in the form of X. So that is called a cruciate. Muscle fibers are arranged in superficial and deep plane crossing like a X. So you can see this muscle. This is a muscle of the skull. You see that is called temporalis. So it is like cruciate muscle. Cruciate means X. Okay, circular muscle. You can see the muscle fiber like origin one point. If I tell this is origin point, it forms insertion of the same point, coming back to same. That is called as the circular muscle. If I tell you this is a muscle of the eye and this is a muscle of the mouth. So they are the example for circular muscle. You can see the point there. This is the origin and insertion. Say origin and insertion. Same like in the mouth also, origin and insertion you can see. So the fiber, if you look, they are circular in arrangement, circular muscle fiber. Okay, next we look now, till now we have seen according to the shape, the classification of the skeletal muscle. Next, microscopic structure means histologically when you look how the skeletal muscle will you can see. So microscope, see each muscle fiber is multinucleated. What do you mean by multinucleated means? It consists of many nucleus. The outer membrane is called sarcolemma and its cytoplasm is called as sarcoplasm. The sarcoplasm show periphery placed nuclei and large number of myofibers. If I draw a diagram here, see this is a straight skeletal muscle you are looking here. You can look that this is the skeletal muscle you are looking and you can see the striation here. The striation are arranged. Okay, the striation are arranged in the muscle fiber. You can see the striation here. After that you can see the nucleus. Okay, in the peripheral I told you, see this is called as the plasma membrane. Here it is called as the part here it is called as a sarcolemma and the cytoplasm in this it is called as a sarcoplasm and in periphery you put nucleus. Okay, use blue color, they are called as nucleus. So here and all you draw the nucleus. Okay, so the peripherally placed nucleus you can see. So this is about the microscopic structure of skeletal muscle. Okay, see the slide here. I have explained you. See you can make out the two figure here, the upper and the below. See the histologically how it appears. You can see here, you can see the striation, multinucleated and the nucleus is peripherally placed. You can make out the nucleus is peripheral placed and you can see the plasma membrane here it is called as sarcolemma and the cytoplasm here it is called as a sarcoplasm. So this is a histological or microscopic structure of skeletal muscle you are looking. So these are the identification point for the histology of skeletal muscle. You have to mention all this. Clearly you can see in the figure there, multinucleated, peripheral placed nucleus, cross striation, okay, and they are unbranched. You can see they are unbranched muscle fiber. They are unbranched muscle fiber. Okay, see, this is one more figure. You can see the nucleus. Okay, blue color, whatever you are seeing there, all the nucleus. Okay, and these are all the cross striation you can make out here. They are all cross striation you can make out. Okay, see here. In the figure, sarcolemma, sarcoplasm, nucleus, and the striation. Okay. The sarcoplasm shows periphery place nucleus and large number of myofibril. Each myofibril show dark and light bands. The dark bands are called as A bands and the light bands are called as I band. Remember, dark Da. So they are called A band, light Li. So they are called as I bands. Each myofibril had to have two protein filament. They are called as actin and myosin filament. Actin and the myosin filament it has got. Okay, so see in this is a you are going on to higher magnification of it. Okay, in the I told that when you draw a diagram. Okay, see here I told there are striation. Okay, the dark part is called like this. If you do, this is called as a dark band and this zone is called as a light zone called as the I band. So they are dark band and the light band. Okay, so you are seeing in the higher magnification. If you look in the middle of the dark band, if you see the dark band here, in the middle of the dark band there is a light H band. You can see here in the dark band, see this is a dark band, the lighter zone is there, this is the H zone. Okay, in the middle of I band there is a dark zone called as a Z line. So remember, in the light band there is one more dark region called as Z line. So this you have to remember. What do you mean by sarcomere? The part of myofibril between two Z line, you can see between the two Z line, this region we call it as sarcomere. The part of myofibril between two Z line, we call it as the sarcomere. This is the sarcomere you are looking. So remember, see the figure here, you can make out. Okay, next. Now next section you are looking into TS of the skeletal muscle. TS means you are taking a transverse section of the skeletal muscle. When you take a transverse section of the skeletal muscle, what all the features you can see? You can look into here. Okay, see here, individual muscle fiber are surrounded by delicate connective tissue called as endomysium. Now learn three terms here: endomysium, perimysium and epimysium. So you have taken here, see this is a figure you are seeing, that is the TS of the skeletal muscle. Okay. So individual, you can see this is the individual muscle fiber. Individual muscle fiber is enclosed by connective tissue that is called endomysium. Okay. Then individual fascicula is covered by a layer that is called as next one, whole is covered by perimysium and the whole entire muscle is surrounded by a layer of connective tissue that we call it as epimysium. So learn the term, what do you mean by endomysium, perimysium and epimysium. Okay, see here. See, the individual muscle is surrounded by a layer of connective tissue called as endomysium. The fascicle, this fascicle are surrounded by a layer of connective tissue. We call it as perimysium. The whole of the muscle, you can see this whole of the muscle is enclosed by a layer of connective tissue that is called as the epimysium. This is the TS. You can take one transverse section and you have to know what are the features you can see. Okay, this is about the transverse section of the skeletal muscle you are looking. Okay, next. There are two different types of the muscle fiber. Okay, they are called as red muscle fiber and the white muscle fiber. So what do you mean by red fiber and white fiber? When you look the red fiber, they are smaller in diameter, whereas white fiber are wider. And the red fiber consists of, according to their abundant myoglobin are present, here they are relatively less. Mitochondria plenty, here fewer. Dust fatigue easily, this get rapidly. Like ocular muscle, your eye muscle, okay, they are all coming under white fiber. Other muscle, all your body muscle, any muscle you can tell, they all come under the red muscle fiber. So this is just to know, okay, what do you mean by red fiber and the white fiber? Okay. Now till now we have looked into the about the skeletal muscle. We have looked into the skeletal muscle. So next the muscle you are going, that muscle is called as a cardiac muscle. So what all the features you can tell about cardiac muscle is it is involuntary striated muscle. Fibers show branching, hence individual fiber may appear as Y-shaped because they show branching. Here the muscle fibers show branching, and next is a point you can make out here. Centrally placed single oval nucleus. You can see the centrally placed single oval nucleus. Each muscle fiber is made up of many cells which are joined end to end at a junction of specialization called as intercalated disc. There is a presence of a disc here that is called intercalated disc. So these are the features to remember: branching, centrally placed oval nucleus, presence of intercalated disc. So these are the features you can see in the cardiac muscle. Okay, see here, if I draw a diagram, so if I draw a diagram, see the muscle fiber. These are the cardiac muscle. If you look, they show a branching. You can make a Y-like branching. They show branching. Okay, and between the junction, you see here, it consists of intercalated disc. And the nucleus, if you look, single oval nucleus centrally placed. And you can see the striation. There are presence of striations. Okay, these are the features you see in the cardiac muscle. So you can see here they show branching pattern. You can see the branching pattern here. The presence of the intercalated disc, centrally placed oval nucleus. Okay, these are the features you see in the cardiac muscle. Okay, now next. Smooth muscle. Smooth muscle they are non-striated involuntary muscle. Example, GIT, urinary bladder. See, the movement you cannot, no, it is not at your will. So they are all involuntary muscle, and there are no striation. There is no striation in this muscle. Okay. The fibers are elongated and spindle shaped cells. If you see the shape, they are all elongated, and you can see they are like spindles, like this. Okay, spindle like, and you can see the nucleus, the centrally placed single and centrally placed nucleus. This single and centrally placed nucleus you can see. That is about the smooth muscle. Okay, this is about the thing you can see. Smooth muscle, where are they present? Just know GIT, whole of the GIT, like means GIT means gastrointestinal tract. You see the smooth muscle. Urinary system also you see smooth muscle. Reproductive system also you see smooth muscle. Okay, then the shape is like spindle shape, and you can see single and centrally placed nucleus you can see. That all are the features you see in the smooth muscle. Okay. Yeah. So till now we have done about the classification. So you know there are three classification of the muscle. They are called as skeletal, cardiac and the smooth muscle. Skeletal, cardiac and smooth muscle. So know what are the example for each. So see the location. Location wise, skeletal are present in limb muscle, cardiac are present in heart muscle, smooth muscle you see in GIT and urinary bladder. Fibers, shape if you see, they are, this one is unbranched, this is branched, and this is spindle shaped. When you come to the location of the nucleus, you have to see where the location of the nucleus is there in each of this. Nucleus in the skeletal, it is multinucleated, placed periphery beneath the sarcolemma. And here in the cardiac muscle, nucleus is single nucleus placed centrally. Whereas in smooth muscle also same, single nucleus placed centrally. Next, about the striation. In skeletal muscle you can see prominent striation, faint, here in smooth, not seen. Okay, nervous controls, they are of somatic, and this is autonomic nervous system. Autorhythmicity, no, yes, yes. Connective tissue, we have looked how the covering is there. They are called as endomysium, perimysium and epimysium. Here only endomysium and endomysium. Okay, and you see intercalated disc. Where do you see intercalated disc? The intercalated disc is present only in the heart muscle. So, heart, if you look autorhythmicity, they contract together. So, that is why, because of the presence of intercalated disc. So, autorhythmicity, you see there. Okay, this is a histological difference you can make out between the two slide here. See, this is a slide of skeletal muscle and this is a slide of cardiac muscle. So, see in the figure only you can make out the difference between the two. Skeletal muscle unbranched, here it is branched, and you can see the location of the nucleus here. It is peripheral placed, here centrally placed, central oval nucleus. See here, it is multinucleated and this is single, and there are presence of intercalated disc. Here no intercal, and you can see prominent striation. This is like faint striation you can see here. So you can make out the histological difference between the two, skeletal and cardiac muscle. Okay, next. The word, okay, when you might come in the future, what do you mean by motor unit? A motor unit consists of one motor neuron and all the muscle fiber it stimulates. See here, see all this, the stimulus is by the brain, okay, the central nervous system. There are neurons which will come and stimulate it. So this is what you mean by motor unit. Okay, next. What do you mean by neuromuscular junction? See, the termination of nerve ending of motor neuron on skeletal muscle fiber is known as neuromuscular junction. If I tell you here, see here in the figure, you can see the nerve ends. Okay, these are axon terminal ending into the muscle. So this junction we call it as neuromuscular junction. So if you look a neuromuscular junction, what does it consist of? You can see the axon terminal. You do know axon terminal, the neuron. If you look a multipolar neuron, you see the ends, okay, they are called axon terminal, synaptic cleft and motor end plate. So what do you mean by axon terminal? The distal end of axon contains neurotransmitter substance within the synaptic vesicle. You see, this is the axon terminal. You can see this is the axon terminal, the end. It consists of synaptic vesicle. Synaptic cleft, the space between axon terminal and folded region of muscle cell membrane. Then motor end plate, the folded portion of sarcolemma. They are called as motor end plate. So here you can see in the figure, see, this is a neuron. You see, looking, this is a junction of the muscle. You can see this junction is called, we call it as a neuromuscular junction. So you can see the axon terminal. This is the axon terminal, and you are looking the synaptic vesicle here, which consists of a neurotransmitter that is called acetylcholine. Okay, this is the junction you are looking. Okay, see here, this is the synaptic cleft. So this is about the neuromuscular junction. So look again, neuromuscular junction consists of axon terminal. The distal end of axon contains the neurotransmitter substance within the synaptic vesicle. Synaptic cleft, the space between the axon terminal and folded region of muscle cell membrane. Last one, motor end plate, the folded portion of the sarcolemma. This is about the neuromuscular junction. Okay. So just a summary of the today's class. So in the today's class we have looked about the muscle tissue. So know what are the three types of the muscle tissue? The three types of muscle tissue are skeletal, cardiac and the smooth muscle. So you have to know other like voluntary muscle and involuntary muscle. Voluntary muscle are skeletal muscle. Involuntary muscle are cardiac and smooth muscle are involuntary muscle. Then there is one more classification based on the present striation. So skeletal muscle and cardiac muscle show striation, smooth muscle, non-striated muscle. So then about the characteristic features you see in the skeletal muscle. So write the points, what all you can see the characteristic features of skeletal muscle. So first point, it is unbranched. The second point, it is multinucleated. Third point, periphery placed nucleus below the sarcolemma and it shows striations. Okay, these are the identification point for skeletal muscle. Then example for skeletal muscle is any limb muscle. You can tell about deltoid muscle are example for skeletal muscle. Next, about the cardiac muscle. Heart muscle is an example for cardiac muscle. So right, it shows a branching pattern. It consists of nucleus, single nucleus, centrally placed single oval nucleus, and it consists of intercalated disc. Example, heart muscle. Last one is a smooth muscle. It is spindle shaped and consists of centrally placed nucleus. So example for it is any GIT tract. You can tell about stomach, then duodenum, jejunum or urinary system. You can tell about urinary bladder, ureter. All these are example for smooth muscle. Okay. 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 This is about today's class. Okay. Thank you.